if we just see Bard here, it's very predictable, and it is going to be the case. On one hand, I don't think this is the most optimal position for Bard or Jhin on the side of T1 here. Like, it's very risky the way that this could shape up, because if your Trundle falls behind or you're not winning in sides and you're trying to set up team fights around Jhin, you don't have that hard engage. Like, if you had Jhin on the side of Gen.G, I'm like, oh, you've got a Wukong, you've got a Gwen to set that up, you've got Annie for Peel. Jin's going to have so much value for days. But considering how strong blue side is, and with the bans you have to opt into for T1 on red side, you've got to ban Pantheon as Azir Varus. It feels always a little lopsided.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Alrighty, game number 1, Gen.G versus T1, the second of their 3 matchups into the Aurora. We have seen a couple times where he's just kind of sprinting at the Aurora, probably getting some amount of stacks in those traits.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's more than like 2.
You know, sometimes T1 are going to get this first trait with the prior they have, Shocker. Sometimes when I'm playing top lane, and I'm kind of multitasking on my computer, I put that Grasp rune in.
It definitely has. I mean, T1 have control, and Gen.G have identified that, okay, we kind of have to sit back. But take a look at this timing. They say, okay, well, Faker's backing. They don't really see owner on the map. They just got the dragon right, so let's try to get some consolation prize elsewhere. They're going to get 2 of the grubs, not all 3.
Consider also, too, Valdez, that like Wukong can't really impact lanes pre-6. So that's another big win here for T1 when they draft these winning lanes, that you know, it's a soft counter, right, to the Wukong, and that it just really might be enough to get him over the line.
No missed. He's in a lot of trouble here. He does have flash at least. He's pushing forward into the turret. A lot of needles do come down. There's no TPs available. There's no jungler on the way. He's just dead. First blood goes over to Doran.
Try to walk in.
Then they can walk in, yeah. Or they could have like jumped over it, you know.
Yeah.
There are a couple of ways, but yeah, they're just probably gonna have to give up double dragon here in this early game.
Just look at the cross map opportunities, and they aren't there. You know, Chovy's pushing a wave bottom as Ruler catches a wave in the mid lane.
1. Oh, and we got a play here once again on the Chovy. Still no flash from the earlier Realm Warp, but now he's just able to get in and punish. It's another kill. It goes over to Owner, which is Ruler, as Keria is calling for this. And now the magical journey. Looks like Keria can't quite get in there, but now the TP on in into immediate Tempered Fate. Faker is in that backline with no escape as a bunch of damage is being done. Doran there as well, but the needles go in, and Faker actually got out of there. Doran now in the backline himself, as Faker does get taken down eventually. Gen.G trying to press forward. They got this strong Gwen trying to frontline, but they can't really deal with Guma. And so now they're on the run, but can they run away from the Jhin? Is really the question. The shots, a couple of them do ring true, but the others do miss.
I mean, call it luck, call it T1 magic, but 1,500 kills, by the way, for Doran, a second top laner to hit this milestone. Guma's gonna have to cleanse.
That's a good pick up there from
Keria, guess what, guys? Realm Warp for the exit, and it just feels like that shouldn't have happened. Like, it doesn't feel like you should be able to get away with that, and yet T1 do.
Yeah, that's the way it goes here at Legend Group. Sometimes these teams just pull it out of a hat.
They're going to get a whole turret.
Yeah, he's just going to get this one here. Straight for the Rift Heralds. A big group up, tons of wardage, and
Faker's just going to get another turret.
Yeah, it seems to be his game plan, is just let them get objectives and just kind of side lane. It's better than not side laning. Dura going to take a ton of damage. Doran as well lays down the ult, but they're not contesting for this. You see that Owner is in the top jungle of Gen.G. Trying to steal it.
Is pillared?
You can see they were thinking about it. Oh, that's a nice little binding into 2. And now we get this ult coming in. We have the Realm Warp for Vision. And Faker, of course, who is going to take it. Faker no chill in this game. And that Rift Herald just gets dropped down for basically no value. Remember that it was a Rift Herald for Faker getting the bottom turret. So that trade, quote unquote, just ends up to be another little T1 victory.
Keria going deep for this.
All right, he's gonna land an ult here. Could be like a Jhin lockdown, but no, it just looks a little bit opportunistic.
Yeah, Guma didn't have ult. Could have tried to go for, of course, the flourish, but was a little bit out of range
for Gen.G. You don't want to group up against Pillar, against Rise, against a Jhin, right? It makes it much easier for them to lock down, especially with that bit of a lack of engage that you were talking about as they engage on the Trundle. Trying to take down Owner is not going to happen, and immediately Duro just gets burst to shreds, and the rest of Gen.G just on the run, not really wanting to take the rest of the fight. Doran a little bit low, but you see that Keen is backing, maybe looking to TP back into this fight.
Yeah, some heals coming through just a little bit there from the Bard. Guma still has ult, and both summoners, so he's actually feeling pretty happy to just walk forward here and take some pot shots. Now getting engaged on right back.
Canyon, he is so close to that. Carrier jumping on in, gonna keep two of them in prison. He does go down, but that means they get the kill on a Canyon. It's actually gigantic as now Guma, the Scissors, are pushing forward. The Keen is not going to get any kills. Ruler now just sprinting at them, actually can do a lot, but no, he's taking too much from Faker, totally ignored the Rise, and it's a massive mistake, and T1 turned this fight around. They were already ahead, but now they're just getting the bonus kills on top of bonus kills. Will T1 get everything in the fight?
I mean, this might just be the game-ending fight. Straight up, 5 dead for Gen.G. Who cares about a Mountain Soul point? It's T1, Baron spawns at 25, and they'll start it at 25-10. Doran gonna get the whole mid-turret. And this team's team fighting, their synergy, it looks like they break the rules of League of Legends. They do things that...
Yeah, that was kind of the face I was making too. That it was rough. I mean, they tried, but now, you mentioned kind of like game-breaking fight. They got everyone, plus an extra Rel, and the Baron. So... now it's like 8,000 gold to lead for T1. The compositions begin to have less meaning as we get to these sorts of numbers. And Carry is on the flank. Looking for Ruler here, no doubts, trying to get into that backline. They have the full wraparound. They're gonna try to turn and immediately jump on a Faker who just goes golden. With the help of Carrier goes golden again. And the rest of his team is just cleaning up. The wallets are gigantic. T1 are styling on Gen.G.
Not even close. CHOVY running as fast as his face rush will take him. I don't think he gets out of this one.
They're just playing with their food at this point.
I mean, Faker had TP and Realm Warp. He had 2 ways to join the fight. He had Baron buff. If the fight doesn't look optimal, if they don't think they can get that flank angle, he can take out an inhibitor. He's Rise with Baron in the mid lane, but he decides to come over, rotates quickly, gets that flank. Who says stopwatch Sonya's double stasis is dead? Carrier says it's very much alive. That he just lives through everything with a safe Rod of Ages, Seraphs, and quick arm guard buys. The guy is just unkillable.
He's really making them regret not banning Bard. I'll tell you that because... right, trying to make a play here once again. They're really trying to bully Rulers. It's very obvious. They're like, okay, we got a target on this guy's back. And now Gen.G down 13,000 gold, looking for the angle. Oh man, just dropping Aurora ultimates on top of CHOVY's head as the shots ring true. Owner just running at them at this point in time. Gonna remove some blockers. There's the stun, and Ruler's dead. They get him first again. And yeah, T1 really just styling on them at this point, just having a lot of fun. The fans are getting a great kick out of this game. At least on the T1 side. You saw the facial expressions of the Gen.G fans earlier. Didn't look great.
This is just a dominant victory. No 2 ways about it. I feel like we didn't see Gen.G at all in game 1. And T1 making a statement here. Keen doing a lot of damage. But I think with him being really the only one left, it's not going to matter here, Valdez. How do you recover from a loss like this? I mean, Gen.G's played a lot of tough series that went the distance this year. I think they're the team that can handle it, but I don't know, Valdez. The crowd favors T1. T1 with incredible comfort in this first wrap. And I didn't think that they were going to be able to...
game, just to witness what T1 were doing to their opponents, but it wasn't very close. There wasn't a lot of League of Legends played, it feels like.
I love to see some of these low dam kind of mixed here. Quite strong in the low range Lucian. This is the moment where Carrier gets to decide what he thinks is best to win this 2v2. And for me, I always just say let him cook.
Lucian Nami. All right, it's actually going to happen. And this is not old Lucian Nami where, you know, they're spiking on one item and their synergy is out of this world. No, it's just an enchanter that's not Lulu.
Yeah, I mean, considering the amount of ways that these melee frontliners can get on top of your Rumble, on top of your Lucian. Perhaps the peel of the tidal wave could be arguably more teamfight value, but I kind of like the idea of just sending Jarvan in with Shockwave and then also having an additional knock-up as well as...
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Alrighty, game number 2. Series we expected to be very close. Started off with the level 4 is going to find Owner and goes immediately in. The Xin Zhao loves to go for the trades, but Guma and Keria are quicker on the play, and Canyon's getting burst down, and down he goes. First blood given over to the Lucian of all champions, as now the flash comes in. Double flash away by Gen.G. Looking for a bit more. The double buff here on Guma as well. Wants a little bit.
For this Yunara to be the Fountain Laser in the endgame, and if she just can't get off the ground, you've got nothing. You have no damage in this comp. You have absolutely no way back in.
Well, especially from behind.
That's what I mean. Like, if Rua's out of the game, like, Plane doesn't get off the ground.
Like, if the Ambessa was able to get something going, if the Galio, you know, who does look to be going a bit tankier, which makes sense with the Ambessa and the Yunara, but yeah, if they all fall behind, which at this point, you know, the top lane is okay. Like, maybe Keen's got check-in on. Obviously, okay, looking for this. Guma going in alone. Big mistake here. He will immediately be punished as Barrier comes through as well. Just wasted, gives the kill over to Ruler, who is now right back in the game.
I mean, a flop like that, that's all you need. Keria was not anywhere nearby.
Trying to make a play in top lane. Doran all by himself. Thought he was safe with his team taking the grubs nearby. He is actually going to live as they continue to go in on the Doran, who's going to touch the wind, becomes lightning. The damage, though, not quite enough to take down Canyon. But with red buff, I think eventually they get the job done. Meanwhile, Faker is getting bullied here in mid as Dura went for
top. Was a big part of that as well.
That doesn't take a whole lot, especially in the early game. Remember the early game of game number 1 was very much, you know, T1 was dominating all the lanes. They got a lot of incremental leads from there. They were able to take some big objectives, and it kind of just flew by in an instant. This game much closer at this point, with a couple of swings back in Gen.G's.
Guma needs to be very careful. He's still flashless, mind you.
They're going in on the Nami. There is the bubble, and Duro nearly dies. Meanwhile, in the fight, as we do see that Ruler has to back away immediately. Bit of damage did come in. Ruler wasn't really in trouble, but they don't have their Rakan anymore. Now Ruler in a bit of trouble, but they go in on the Guma and burst him down. Canyon says, now it's my time to get it done. Owner desperate for the kill on a Duro. They just can't get this dang Rakan, and it's going to be a double kill here for the Xin Zhao. Meanwhile, Faker getting bullied in mid by Keen, of all people, who has ganked, and Faker just did not expect that.
Okay, big catch here onto Canyon. I don't know if it's enough, though, and in fact, Doran in trouble!
Who's getting caught this time? It's not going to be Canyon. Picks up 2 kills, and the Gen.G fans are losing it right now.
I thought you guys were having some trouble down.
We're going to have to look at this top fight. Doran's in a lot of trouble. He's trying to run to his jungler. I think Keen should sniff this one out, but he's still going to go in, gets the kill. As now Redemption is coming down here. Gonna help out the side of T1, as going to miss a bunch here on Keen. He's still going in. Owner doesn't quite have the damage, gonna miss the flag and drag. Back in goes Keen, not scared of these guys, takes him down again, and meanwhile in mid, Guma's just dead as well. And this time it's Gen.G's turn to just absolutely Harlem Globetrotter.
I mean, Faker, where are you going?
The rift. Faker doesn't know where he's going, he's lost.
Well, Canyon decides he doesn't want to trade flashes and wants to get a dragon. Faker's just trying to pull him off the dragon, I suppose.
Oh, boy.
Chemtech soul, so we didn't high roll, but it's not a double dragon anyways. So if game 1 was Harlem Globetrotters, maybe game 2 is a little bit of a rehearsal. You know, maybe some of the bugs need to be worked out. I don't...
All of them. Oh, we're doing it again. This time it's actually T1 trying to take down Keen, as they have tried many times before.
Another redemption.
Keen lives. Owner's going in. Big shockwave is going to catch 2. As Keen, they finally did it. They finally got him. And at the end of the day, it takes Guma and Keria to come over here and zone Canyon away, but Gen.G are winning everywhere.
Yeah, Chovy gets a whole turret bottom side. They already had feats of strength. It'll be his 2nd turret he picks up this game. And they're going to get the Herald as well. You know, we were talking about how like it almost was over. Like, oh man, Guma has such a lead. All they have to do is not mess it up.
Immediately caster curse.
Yeah. And even though it looks like also
are they trying to kill Keen again?
Yeah, and guess who's here? Keen's best companion.
Really trying to kill Keen, and I think this time they did it. The damage is there. He's not able to get all the different dashes and procs and all the fun stuff, so they did it. They finally got a clean kill onto Keen, who has been just terrorizing them up in the top lane.
Wants to defend this turret, deny a bounty, but I mean, Owner is here. And Doran's Equalizer's coming back up. They might actually be able to, I mean, they should be able to at least force him off of it.
Objective bounties already.
Yeah.
17 minutes in.
But I mean, Chovy gets a turret in exchange, and sure, the bounty makes... I'm just going to go up in the lane, and...
until it's worth.
Bye.
Are they still there?
I think yes.
Yes. They're still there. They're absolutely still there. TP's are... Even Guma's here. He's just able to come in. That's 2 kills and maybe 3. Oh no, Gen.G, what's going on here? Is now trying to ult away. He actually will be able to. Nicely done by Chovy to make the best of a bad situation.
That should finally be the turret for T1 in the bottom lane.
This game is just wild.
Yeah, I want off T1 Gen.G Game 2's Wild Ride.
Can't handle. I mean, the damage from Doran is actually pretty legitimate at this point, as now it's going to be the flash out. Owner getting sped up, but they say, okay, we'll just take the turret instead. Meanwhile, the Drake is going to go over to Gen.G, so they get that first Chemtech Drake.
So right now, I want to remind everyone, because T1's had a few wins in a row, that's still a 4,000 gold lead. A Herald is crashing in mid. And I do want to remind people that right now, T1 is doing everything they can, which is focusing the isolated soul laner, start to threaten these inner turrets. I mean, this is the kind of control Gen.G has right now, and Ruler is ready to fight. He is going to press R.
Oh, speaking of which, Keen immediately finds the backline. Faker in a ton of trouble, has to just flash out of their Owner. He's the sacrifice for the rest of the team. Doran going to get charmed up. Keen actually going to go down, though. Did Gen.G push too far? Bit of burst damage does come out, but Ruler a bit low. Chovy looking for the turn. Chovy, he's got the angle, but everybody tries to flash away. They only get the Nami. Still, it's going to be a pick as they look for Faker as well. Canyon on the backside here. Faker just going forward. Knows he's dead. And Gen.G find 2 more.
It looked scary for a moment, but there's just so much peel for Ruler. You got the Ambessa, but you didn't get every other member, including Duros, Rakan, which is super frustrating to deal with in these types of skirmishes. Is Guma did so much damage, but he's like, I'm out of cooldowns. You guys are going to have to buy some time. And he survives, limps away from the fight, but cannot catch Ruler. Faker tried, as this is just going to be Otacon. All of that bottom side pressure was putting Deep Vision into the jungle, forcing a fight that T1 didn't want to take because Otacon was spawning. Had spawned and now is in
not even this game.
I just don't think this game is the one that's decisive enough. But
it's all the games we've seen. I'm like, nah, this is just too good.
Because I was a little bit skeptical. By the way, Ruler was like the only one who's like this champ owns in lane. By the way, everyone else is kind of like, it's a little situational. And then Ruler had to play. Chovy has ult, can be there in a moment's notice. Faker has TP as well, but they have that one sneaky ward. I mean, that's the best you can really say about T1's position here.
They're going to look for Ruler. I think they're going to try to wombo Ruler, but I don't know if they can. Meanwhile, the turn is coming in from the side of Gen.G. They want to just go for the fight here. Meanwhile, Faker's going to go down. Not even sure what happened to him as he just kind of got killed. Meanwhile, at the same time, some more crit on the side of Yunara. Hiding on Bush once again, but Chovy the tank is the one that checks the brush, and that's what you want. The charm comes in on Adoran, and he is just evaporated. Keen once more, gonna go in on it 4, as now we've got the follow-up from the Galio that's gonna keep him alive, although I don't think they need to continue in, but now Ruler finds his angle, just presses forward, and there's nothing that they can do. As the Yunara just
for T1 with the way the bottom 2v2 went, but everything changed in an instant. And then this Yunara, we're like, I don't know, she's gonna get off the ground. Like, she's got a Cole, Cole Doran's blade. He's got a pickaxe. There's just no way.
Like absorbing damage until everything had been used, and then Yunara gets her chance, and it's just GG. Owner, yeah, you're gonna get Mega Cone engaged on. Make it kill number 10 for Ruler, and looking for even more. as Canyon will pick up a 6th kill of his own.
I do like how you mentioned how well that was played by Gen.G that last fight we had in the replay, because basically T1 were backwards leapfrogging to try to maybe jump on Lunara, but it couldn't happen as FAKER is just...
Yeah, well, he's going to be kited out and killed. The 7th kill goes over to Canyon. Man, these games, Ruler's just running at him, eating a culling to the face, doesn't care at all. And yeah, the game is over. Game 1 was extremely one-sided to T1. This one is the same one-sided to Gen.G. Yeah, there was like that 5 minutes that T1 had, and then it was just over. And we're going to a Game 3. Our wishes come true.
Here we go, Game 3. 30 minutes here, almost on the dot. T1 routed. And we mentioned we thought maybe Ruler wasn't going to get off the ground. I think he had his full Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan arc in this one.
Yeah,
from zero to hero.
Shout out to Duro as well, honestly. It's like, well, we kind of drafted ourselves into a hole, and then we just lost every lane, and okay, guys, let's go Game 2. It's like, so that was Game 1.
Like, you don't have a distance problem here in this game. You have safety, and the enemy comp is also relatively low range. Like, Corky rockets aren't really going to be a problem for you. So, are we going for hard all-in to try to match, or are we going for scaling? Is he going to pull out the AP Ziggs?
All right, the Ziggs is going bot, you would have to imagine, 100% right?
100% of Desire, so that Corky flex does come through. We think we've seen a little bit more Ziggs with the buffs in mid lane. It's been played in other regions. They're holding
like,
it's pretty good into Sylas as well.
Sylas, yeah.
I mean, you just sit there, you poke, you harass, but ultimately I think the Corky is safer. We'll see if he wants to go first strike and just try to generate a gold lead there, or if he's going to opt for something a little bit more damage focused. Because accelerating yourself to 2 items, we see so many Corkies in the melee matchups in mid just going straight to...
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Game number 3, this historic matchup. The second of 3 times we're going to see it here in the Legend group.
Playing also has an advantage there as Owner.
All right, trying to get on top of the Ziggs, and I think they might just be able to do it. The flash ahead of time is going to work out. First blood given over to Doran's Jax. He does immediately get traded back, but that kill only went over to Duro.
Canyon down 2 levels. He's giving him the scared Yuumi, like, I don't really want to stay around here much.
Yeah.
As Owner's like, oh, you still seem to not be level 6, by the way. And these seem to be my Krug.
This is like some peanut level of just crazy, I'm going to take everything away from you. Owner, did he go too far is the question. The bomb is going to miss, and it looks like he absolutely did. Duro's going to get the kill. I don't know how he always does that.
But Canyon, it's a big one here, and we will respect it. And he has level 6 now, which I think right now he's probably feeling is the bigger milestone in his career in this best of 3. Finally compress his ult button. When you look at where the gold is, it's very strong top side here for T1. Bottom side is where the favor is for Gen.G, and Guma's going to get some more money to even that out, in fact, take a lead himself. This fight's going to get a little scrappy on Dragon. Or maybe, no, it won't. I just wanted to do the play-by-play handoff just in case. And over to you, Valdez.
Yeah, take it away, Valdez. Well, they got the Dragon. They absolutely. He is Xayah with Featherstorm and Flash, so there's the Flash, and there's the Featherstorm, but now we've got the pull on in, and he's just dead. Meanwhile, got a Nocturne trying to save, and a TP coming in here. As now the ultimate does go in, stolen ultimate here from the side of FAKER, and Duro looks to be very much dead. Keria wants a bit more. Gonna get this route down onto CHOVY, who takes a bunch of damage, but they know they don't have the kill pressure. Ruler comes out of nowhere. You just stay there on the top side. Oh, the flash aggressive satchel is crazy into the wall, and he immediately dies. But it was awesome.
Yeah, Keen here, just gonna be farming this one out. And like, Ruler decides to join the fight instead of fully backing there, which gives them the opportunity, and then FAKER with a really cool re-engage himself. Like, it was just one of those scrappy fights where it ends up being a relatively even exchange. Owner will get 2 of these 3 grubs, which feels fantastic when you have to put it down in any way. As we have a bit of that skirmish I was talking about eventuating now.
Yeah, trying to get in on the Yorick, and that should be enough, but guess who's here? Canyon for the turn, and he is going to make the play happen. Keen extremely low, but continuing on the play. Owner wants a bit more, and he'll get killed instead. Canyon just takes him down. And Canyon immediately gets his revenge.
And that's the kind of play I was talking about. You know, Canyon's coming up there. And it's also one of those things Chronicler mentioned is, ooh, Guma.
Uh-oh. Yep, Featherstorm response.
Good answer.
Not a fun time into the Ziggs.
But it's kind of like what Chronicler was talking about earlier, where these teams know each other so well, but Gen.G just has such a great read on T1. They're like, I think Nocturne's looking for this, that, and then Canyon's just in the bush, and boom, spring a trap.
Yeah. Gen.G taking the Infernal Drake in live. Looks like they should get it without much of a hitch.
I mean, this is a very tense series here for Gen.G. They came in as relative favorites, I would say. It was pretty close to the Preds, but this series has not been as one-sided as a lot of Gen.G Predators thought it would be, even though they lost the last series to T1. It has been a real struggle, and this game was so on a knife's edge, but now Gen.G are taking a real significant lead here. Stolen Nautilus ult, gonna delay the turret take.
Yeah, for just about a second, or as long as the Nautilus ult actually lasted. But they did not stop attacking.
Right, their top and jungle was the lead they had. They no longer have that.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a sticking point for them. Definitely want to get Owner and Doran ahead, and that's going to be the satchel to take down mid-turret. So you said, too, a little bit of chip damage into this top turret. Looks like they should be able to get it with the Ziggs.
Yeah, because all you got to do is get into the satchel range, and then you drop that satchel, and now you just take Otacon. And what angle does T1 have to approach this? Like, Nocturne walking through with Nico, all of this vision. They can't get here fast enough. Who do you engage on? You got to get past Duro first. He's the bouncer. TP from Jax.
Yeah, and from Faker trying to get in. As the Rift Herald summoned, they have vision now. T1 trying to push in. Duro very separated, actually, kind of by himself on the left side. Gen.G abandoning the play, and they'll lose their Nautilus for it as well. T1 starting this one up. Carry is taking the Rift Herald for a little drive. Not exactly sure. Keen finally does TP into this one. And it's Otacon flip for the ages, taking quite a while. Doran going in, they're just trying to zone them away. As the engage comes in from T1, they lose two though, and Owner about to follow. Guma desperate to do something, but instead, he just gets autoed down by the Ziggs. And Gen.G, so much control of the play. They lose their Nautilus, they don't care. They still win it handily. And now Doran gonna spot. Okay, trying to get this one, but he's not going to get in range. And CHOVY just picks up yet another kill.
Samsung Galaxy Flash right there. But they back away and play it slow and look for the turn with the buy. Guma tries to look for the ult feathers there, but does not actually get Ruler. And the fight's a wash.
All right, trying to make a play here onto the Corki. It looks like CHOVY, with this flash, is going to use it to get away. Meanwhile, Duro is just kind of left out to dry once again. Tons of damage, though, coming out from Ruler. Meanwhile, Faker has a vendetta against the red buff instead.
Yeah, this was a cool idea. And a cool dodge.
All right, trying to make this play. That's actually very good. Ruler, maybe a little bit overconfident here. He is going to be traded out. And that shutdown goes to the Xayah. Meanwhile, Owner is going to be zone 4, and Doran is just in the front line. Yeah, I think Gen.G are handling this just fine.
Yeah, it looked a little scary for Keen there for a second.
So wonky, Wolf.
But at the end of the day, you know, Doran was like really trying to maximize his Counter-Strike value there, but was shut down. Very simple. And they still had the Vi ult. That late Vi ult in these fights has just been kind of the cherry on top for Gen.G so many of these times. Yeah. Ziggs is looking to demolish another turret.
Yeah, might as well. Don't even need the Baron. Just push a little bit as, a little flank angle coming on in. They're trying to get onto the Ziggs. Can they burst them down? Absolutely not. Not with the disengage cone. As Carrier going to go down. Faker as well is going to bite the dust. There's a big bomb over the top here. Doran taken out, and it looks like Gen.G, they just have way too much momentum in this game.
Yeah, and Guma, can he get out here? Duro does not have flash.
Ult available.
Either. I think he's fine, but that's the 6th and final turret outside of the base of T1. Baron hasn't even spawned yet, and Keen is teleporting in to look for the inhibitor break. And there's just no one here, no one alive to stop the onslaught that is Gen.G.
Yeah. Just feels like Gen.G, when they don't let T1 get like the Giga T1 draft, they're just the better team. I mean, at least tonight, you know, it was a little bit of...
CHOVY's 4K and he's 7 kills on this Corki that was flexed to mid. The blind Silas is not working for Faker.
Yeah, it was an interesting idea. You know, comp-wise, it kind of made sense, but immediately Gen.G had the answer as they saw the damage on that Baron for just a little bit. And now we have the counter engage here from Keria, only going to find the front two, and they're full health still as the big bomb right in the back line going to take them both down. And even the Xayah was in there as well. This game is over. Gen.G just deciding when they want to end it.
Very, very fast game here. And when you consider the level of play these two teams have, you don't expect games to end 26.5 minutes, but that is what is going to happen. Another one-sided one, and Gen.G in another full series. Not game 5, but in this case, game 3. This time will come out victorious and get revenge for that previous loss to T1.
Yeah, it was looking a little bit rough after game 1. That was very one-sided, but it wasn't meant to be. The series will be remembered, rather, as a Gen.G victory. And that's a very dominant one at that. You know, I feel like when we go back and we watch game 2, game 3, it was Gen.G all the way. Just a little bit of a hitch at the beginning. Like I said before, I feel like if you don't give T1 the Giga draft, where they're like winning all the lanes and doing the T1 thing, like you're just totally fine. And Gen.G